Right, no one is watching, but I'm going to review WrestleMania 41 because I was going to do a video to review it anyway, and if we do get some viewers and some people watching, I can review WrestleMania 41 with comments, but if not, I'm going to do it anyway, and if people want to watch this afterwards, they can. If no one wants to watch this, they can't. Firstly, thank you to everyone who has subscribed in the last week or so, because we've gone from I think it's like 7,500 to 9,500, something like that. Yeah, maybe about 1,500 additional subscribers in the last week or so, and I'm assuming that's because of all the WrestleMania Vegas content that we've put out there. So thank you to all of our new subscribers. Like I said, this is a video where I'm going to go through match by match, night 1 and night 2. So disclaimer, I was in Vegas, I was at WrestleMania. So I have seen night 1 and night 2 from that point of view. I have managed to watch night 1, most of it again, but I haven't watched night 2 again. So this is all from memory, and this is from being at the stadium, being in Vegas, being at WrestleMania. So I'm just going to try and switch something on here where I can see comments of thing. Oh, we are live, we're done. We're not going to fight though. No one needs to fight. These are just opinions. It's just wrestling. It's just men in pants wrestling. Pretend fighting. Someone said that. I saw that. I saw a comment from someone. I don't know. It was like Bret Hart. It wasn't Bret Hart. It was someone else. Bret Hart would never say that. It was someone old school saying at the end of the day, wrestling is just men and now women in pants pretending to fight. So not to get too worked up about it is what my point was. Right. So let's start with WrestleMania night 1. We got to the stadium about half an hour before, I think. There was a funny comment I saw on social media today from Liv Morgan saying wrestling fans need to wash and have showers and such like. And it is funny because if you went into the store, if anyone who's watching this went into the store at the stadium, it absolutely reeked. Anyway, so we're in and out of there in 2 seconds, and that was by the by. So WrestleMania night 1, got there, got into our seats, ready to go. Jelly Roll, who is now, I think, a WWE superfan, kicked it off with the national. It wasn't the national anthem. It was "America the Beautiful" or something like that. Sorry, that offends anyone. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't their national anthem. So he kicks it off. Usual high quality, as always, video packages that WWE put together. Intro night 1, build up to night 1, and the opening match of WrestleMania 41 was Jey Uso trying to win the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. Some criticism of the build until the last few weeks before WrestleMania of this match, and the bit in London where Jey is handcuffed or rope tied to the rope while Jimmy's getting beaten up, and I think this took the rivalry, took the match to a more interesting place and where people wanted to see what was going on. So, and I know one comment on this, the Royal Rumble was the beginning of February, and it's a long build. It's a long build. So there's a challenge, I think, to maintain interest, especially with two like Jey and Gunther who appear every single week, every single Monday Night Raw, regularly wrestling and so on. So I think it's a challenge, and it'll be an interesting challenge. Because WrestleMania was late this year. Royal Rumble was late, but I don't know why this thing is shaking. It's because I've got it on some weird holding. WrestleMania was late. So a long, like a 9-week build. So there was a challenge there with this. But I think everyone acknowledged the last couple of weeks really picked it up, and it really got interesting with the whole Jimmy stuff and that. And Jay's changing demeanour, changing person. 12 week, thank you, Auden. 12 week build. That is a long build. Obviously, it started well because not one person, and I don't care if you can show me someone pre-Royal Rumble predicting that Jey Uso was going to win the Royal Rumble, and even when he's in the last 2 with John Cena, no one is predicting. Someone said hi, Ollie, so if anyone was predicting that Jey Uso was going to win a Royal Rumble, that was not predictable. Anyway, so we get to the match. Jey Uso has a big entrance coming through from down the crowd. I mean, I have to say, whatever the attendance was, 61,000 or whatever the attendance was, it is quite a sight being yeeting with 60-odd thousand people while Jey is making his entrance. So it's pretty cool. Hi, Alana. It was a pretty cool, it was amazing to be part of that stadium with his entrances, big flags waving. I mean, guaranteed pop, isn't it, Jey? So it comes out that Gunter, 57k. Oh look at this. Oregon's got the stats. 57k night one, 60k. So 57,000 people yeeting away. Gunter, traditional, obviously very simple entrance. Great theme music though, and he comes out, and the match is probably. I saw something, and if you have ever, I'm not a video game player now, but I was when I was younger, and Street Fighter 2 is my favorite game, and I saw something about this is basically just going to be chops and kicks, and it was E Honda and Chun Li was I don't know, it was a meme or something, but it wasn't just that, to be fair, and we had I would say proper wrestling match, a good wrestling match. I enjoyed it, and Jay's surprised. I think Jay's taking some of Gunter's moves. I think it was good. I like the bit where Gunter cheats. He doesn't cheat that often, Gunter, but he did cheat. Tried to win it by hitting with the belt, with the referee's back was turned. Don't often get that. And almost that, for me, signified sort of desperation that Gunter was sort of desperation because Jay had got this new side to him and that. In the end, it was some super kicks. There were 2 Uso splashes, and I have to say, a really surprising ending. Reminded me of a UFC fight like Joe's match. Yeah, Gunter move for move. I like that. I have to say, it was a good opener, and I actually really liked that he put him in the sleeper hold, put him in his own thing. I saw something some say good to tap too quickly, but he just, in kayfabe, he had 2 Uso splashes, he'd taken the super kick. But I thought it was a good, and the crowd was split for a lot of the matches at WrestleMania, not necessarily supporting the heel or supporting the babyface of the heel. But this match, I'm pretty much, apart from maybe Gunter's family in the audience if they were there, and maybe Ludwig Kaiser, everyone was supporting Jey Uso. Everyone wanted that moment with Jey Uso, and we got it. And Jey celebrates. Again, 57,000 people yeeting. I'm sure Michael Cole was yeeting. Pat McAfee was yeeting. I don't know if Wade Barrett was yeeting. But you got it. And then you got a nice moment between him and Jimmy. And shameless plug, but if you look on our channel, we actually then see Jay and Jimmy later that night at Live nightclub at the Fontainebleau. So you can check out that video if you look at our channel of a rather intoxicated Jey Uso celebrating, and rightly so, because it was only a few hours after he'd won. So I thought a really strong opener. Second match, I can't really review because I used it to go and get some food, and the queue was horrendous to get some pizza. So, thanks a lot for that, Allegiant Stadium. You'd think that, I don't know, maybe obviously there's 60,000 people there, but they do NFL games and there's 60,000 people there, aren't there? Or 50,000, 40,000. Queue was horrendous, so I missed this entire match. I stayed for the New Day's entrance because I think their theme tune is an absolute tune. So I got that, but unfortunately after that theme tune, I did not see the rest of the match. I have seen the ending and I saw the New Day quite funnily running off with the thing. I'm not, this has been a constant conversation, but the tag team division in either SmackDown or Raw is not really exciting anyone. It's cool that they've become 13-time champs. I'm assuming it's the record because there can't be any other tag teams that have more than 13. Is it 13 or 12? I saw. They're kind of more than that. Obviously, it's a bit because obviously the New Day were a free, and there are 2. So I don't know. There might be some wrestling statisticians out there who can point us in a different way. But yeah, I don't know if this match was good or not, so I can't tell you. Next was Jade and Naomi. I was particularly looking forward to this match. I loved the build for Jade versus Naomi. I think it's the best build for a woman. Well, I mean, I think it's something like it's the first women's non-title match in ages or something like that. And it's the first one-on-one non-title match ever at WrestleMania that doesn't involve, non-title women's match or something, which is crazy. It's madness. But I thought they told a brilliant story. Elimination Chamber was brilliant. Everything since then has been brilliant with Jade and Naomi. Naomi's heel character is amazing. I love the video promo package for this. Naomi's new music and entrance. Jade is Jade. So Jade always looks like $1 million and comes out like an absolute, as in the old ways you'd say, WWE superstar is, there. Match was good. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't bad. I thought some really good spots. I don't know if it came across on the TV, but when Jade caught Naomi off the top rope into a suplex, I thought there was a big ooh from the crowd, a big wow moment from that thing. We know she's strong, but I've watched wrestling for 30+ years, which shows how old I am. But I've never seen someone catch someone into a suplex. I thought that was pretty impressive. So it was new. It was also not just impressive, it was thing. So it was a good match. Didn't set the world on fire. I hope, and we'll find out maybe tonight on SmackDown, tomorrow morning in the UK, on SmackDown, if they continue this feud, weave Bianca into it. Obviously, Bianca's already in it. I bloody hope so, because I think this is good. I think this is good for women's wrestling. It's good for it doesn't deserve to end there. And I think I was talking to my friend David, who was with me at WrestleMania, along with my friend Kieran. And I think we're both saying Naomi for Money in the Bank is our prediction, or maybe we should want that to happen. But I think Naomi winning Money in the Bank would be cool. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I hope that continues. Next up, Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. I thought this was one of the best matches of the night. No pun intended. So this was good. This is really good, and I think anything with Jacob Fatu in now is really good, whether that's him on the mic or him in the ring. Super over. Again, a good split in the crowd. Obviously, Fatu is the heel, but obviously he's super popular, super over now, so he's getting a lot of cheers. I felt like, at least in the stadium, felt 50-50 split. The moonsault into the BFT was, I'd say, one of the best spots of the weekend. Easily one of the best spots of the weekend. And I don't know if it was where I was watching in the ring, I didn't even think he could grab the rope from there. Sometimes it's obvious when someone's going to put their foot on the rope or something like that. But from our angle of view in the ring, we're like in 115, row 5 in like 115, which is quite, it's not that far, it's pretty far back. It's like the seating, it's not in the sky, but it's pretty far back. I couldn't see that, so that made it even better, because I thought, okay, he's not going to win it. He absolutely yelled, and he absolute future star. I think he's a star now. It'll be interesting to see. I have to say, I'm just going to mention Solo, because he takes a lot of shit, quite frankly. And, he's been in 2 or 3 main events. His main event at SummerSlam last year, and did his bit. And I know he's not everyone's favourite, but all we got from Solo at WrestleMania was his little white suit, dressed as The Weeknd, coming out with Jacob. So I'm assuming they'll build to Jacob Fatu practically is a face at the moment, but they'll build to some sort of split, and we'll get a match. I don't know if we'll have to wait till SummerSlam or further down the line. Maybe we'll find out again on SmackDown tonight with Jacob Fatu and Solo, which will be pretty cool, I think. And it'd be nice to get Solo back into the picture of wrestling, because he missed the Royal Rumble. He was obviously in the Elimination Chamber. He has wrestled, so he's not carrying an injury, but, can't argue with Fatu. Yeah, him and Braun Breaker, absolute future stars. And obviously with what's happened now with Braun Breaker, talk about strapping a rocket to someone. I think next up was Rey Fenix instead of Rey Mysterio, and Rey Fenix and Chad El Grande Americano, which is a decent match. I think, again, respect to these, so a lot of people use this to go to the toilet, or again, I'm giving you the perspective from inside the stadium where you can't pause, and there's a queue for the toilets, there's a queue for food. So I think people would take this as an opportunity. Well, it was a good match. It was a good match. Rey Fenix is impressive. Him and Penta are great, and Rey Mysterio was obviously injured, but again, shameless plug for our channel. If you have a look on our channel, you'll see a video of Rey Mysterio just 2 nights before doing shots of tequila with Charlotte Flair. So maybe he was injured, or maybe he was just a deadbeat dad. Maybe Dominic's been right this whole time. But yeah, it was good. I did watch this match. It was good. It was a good, passable match, which then leads us to the sort of semi-main event, I guess, and the Women's WWE Championship, Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. I thought Tiffany's entrance, the Barbie entrance, was great. Was a really good entrance. Charlotte obviously comes in with a huge firework display. Right, so this is interesting, and I always say like it's different watching matches in person and watching it, and sometimes something can was really good being there, and then on TV it's rubbish. Or I think in this case it was maybe a bit of the other way around because, and I don't know if it was the crowd were tired or what it was, but it didn't. I don't know. And again, it might have been where we were watching from in the stadium. It just doesn't. It came across sloppy. It wasn't as smooth as you would expect a match between Charlotte Flair and the new Charlotte Flair to be. Two very good wrestlers. But it didn't, and yeah, I absolutely agree. That's it. It was okay, never reached that next level. However, I watched it entirely on TV 2 nights ago, and it was definitely better than that. What I would also say is we've had this run of insane women's matches at WrestleMania, and so this was the solo, because obviously we've got the triple threat, which we'll talk about, which was unreal, both triple threats, but the women's triple threat. So I think WrestleMania 38, and I don't think this is rated as high as it should be. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair is off the charts. I think this is a contender for best women's match of WrestleMania. Then WrestleMania 39, you've got Charlotte herself against Rhea. Again, contender for match of the year, contender for best women's match of WrestleMania. Bayley versus Io, maybe not quite at those heights, but again, an absolute elite match that I loved. Again, I was lucky enough to go to all three of WrestleMania. Again, the crowd built into that. Io is brilliant. I'll never ever forget the Rose Plant reversal into like a flip up that Io did. It's like one of the best reversals I've ever seen, live or not live. But anyway, the fact that I'm talking about all those matches and not talking about this matches probably tells you that this wasn't amazing. And I don't know, even the ending felt a bit flat. I guess it was just one prettiest moonsault ever. I know they were working the knee angle, and I don't know if it was obviously the build was sloppy with the real life animosity. Sometimes that can help a match. I don't think it did help this. It didn't help the build. I don't know what they do now with Charlotte. I don't know where Tiffy goes in terms of, title defenses. Did they do a rematch? Yeah, I don't know. It didn't reach my expectations, is what I would say. Even with the sloppy build, it was like, from a pure match point of view, I thought it would be better than it was. But again, on watching it a second time, watching it online, it was online on Netflix, on TV is what I meant. I think it was pretty decent, not amazing. And then we get to the triple threat, which I genuinely don't know how you separate this triple threat from the opening triple threat of Sunday in terms of what was better. So we had Seth Rollins, really cool entrance. We were not far from the entrance, so I promise you, when he's firing that fire, stupid camera thing is shaking again. When he's firing that flamethrower, you can feel it. I thought it was a pretty cool entrance. Really liked how he came out in all the black and obviously the fireproof clothing. Then it changed, and then he came out almost again in the white. And almost it was almost like back to the Messiah. And obviously now with what's happened post that, maybe that's something, or there's something in that. But yeah, cool entrance. Expect CM Punk to come out next, because Roman Reigns always comes out last, but he didn't actually. Roman Reigns comes out next. Always odd to see Roman Reigns coming out on his own. Like the bit which obviously came afterwards. Who does he give the Ula Fala to? Steps up the steps, look, and there's no Paul Heyman. Obviously, that's now going to be an ongoing thing. And then CM Punk, I have to say that also the promo video for this whole thing is amazing. Watch it on YouTube if you haven't seen it, or Netflix or whatever. And this fire burns. I have to say, there must be a video somewhere on the internet of, I should have recorded it. I never record enough when I'm at these events. Because obviously you see the fire burns promo or intro for CM Punk's entrance is amazing. And obviously people who've been fans like myself and others who've been fans of CM Punk for years, it's really cool. But I genuinely, more than half the crowd was singing along to this Fire Burns, which was really cool. And I'm sure there's a video, I will probably search after this on the internet somewhere of people doing that. So 3 really good entrances. I was really pumped. I think I said this in the weeks before. This was my main event at WrestleMania. This is the match I wanted to see the most. I get why it's not the Sunday night main event, because it's not the title and it's, not number 17 and, and all of that sort of stuff. But this was always my main event, and it exceeded my high expectations. 3, for me, they're the best in the world. 3, probably in the top 5. two, yeah. I'm not going to talk about Mount Rushmore nonsense, but yeah, unreal. And the match pace was perfect. Some amazing spots. Roman cleanly flying over the barricade to get them. The bit where you think maybe Roman and Seth are going to reunite for the Shield, then he delivers 2 power bombs. I think it's really good what they did, is that these new tables that they got haven't broken until this main event of WrestleMania Saturday. So again, I think that was smart because they looked unbreakable. The sort of thing. And oh yeah, 3 finishes, well done already. Like unreal. Even before that, and I know they've done this spot before, but the spear into the pedigree is just so smooth between Seth and Roman. But yeah, the 3 finisher spot, unreal. And then you get to the moment of drama, and this is, I think, where we'll talk about the next triple threat next. But do you separate the two? Because one, as a pure wrestling match, I think the women, just as a wrestling match, was unreal, and pace and everything. This, as drama and storytelling and a wrestling match, was also a thing. So it's probably personal preference on storytelling versus technical wrestling, whatever. But yeah, this was amazing. And then you get the whole Paul Heyman thing. And these 3 wrestlers and Paul Heyman are such pros in terms of the pacing, and they take their time with everything. And who's he going to slide it to? CM Punk. And he took his time even to get in the ring. And I think, I don't know, again, it's angles, and you're looking at it and you think, I thought this one was a possibility. I thought, okay, he could turn on CM Punk for Roman Reigns. Like, this is the one, that thing. And even the way he was behind him and all of that. And that. I did not see the second one coming. And even though he moves him and he gets behind him, I think the fact that he let Roman Reigns beat the crap out of CM Punk with the chair, and then did that. Oh yeah, like, for me, drama or the next, we will probably never top the last 20 minutes or whatever it is of WrestleMania 40 main event night 2. But for me, this is, and there's only 4 people involved in this, similar people, but yeah, top notch. I love this. This was, it was a good WrestleMania Saturday. This made it great, and you end with something like this. And maybe on the second night, because of how it ended, people don't remember it as well. So that is WrestleMania Saturday. WrestleMania Sunday, like I said, this is all just from my head, and I'm trying to remember all the matches, because I haven't rewatched. I know what the opener was because I've just mentioned it. I've mentioned it about 4 or 5 times. But again, technically, you'd probably say this is the match of the weekend. Rhea, Bianca, and Io. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I would say saved. Yeah, I think the main event saved the show to a decent night 1. I think so. I mean, the opening was good. I think it was okay. I think Jacob Fatu was good. I think Charlotte was disappointing. Charlotte and Tiffy. The main event saved it. But yeah, night 2 begins with, again, on paper, this is always going to be a good match. And I actually think the build where they keep almost pushing Io to the side, and it's like between the 2 bigger ladies, the bigger stars, and they are bigger stars, and whether that's right or wrong, I guess they're just bigger names, aren't they? Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. I loved it. I wanted Bianca to win, so I had a slight tinge of disappointment. Everyone around me wanted Io to win, and I think most of the crowd wanted Io to win. I don't understand. And if anyone's watching this, why is Bianca getting booed? I don't know why Bianca is getting booed. She is genuinely one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Yeah, I think that's a shout for the best WWE match this year. It was unreal from everything. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, good. I'm glad you said the same word. I don't know. Why is Bianca Belair getting booed? It started off in Europe, and then I saw something saying she always gets booed in Europe, but she has done. If anything, obviously not. They're all baby faces. The heel behaviour in this has come from Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley isn't in the match. She lost her title. It was her own fault. She's then inserted herself into this match by almost bullying her way into it. I'm not going to start talking about privileges and stuff like that because get me banned from YouTube. But I think, yeah, I don't know why Bianca's getting booed. But does this lead to a heel turn with Naomi? There's a lot they can do with it. But I think, yeah, again, a brilliant match. And actually, as much as I wanted Bianca to win because she's one of my favourites, Io retaining is probably the right call here, I think, based on that. And I think she's probably now gone to another level. I've seen the clip. If you haven't seen the clip of Stone Cold Steve Austin, of all people, congratulating Io, and you can see her genuinely welling up. And what, obviously, I mean, any wrestler getting congratulated by one of the GOATs is obviously amazing for them. So they've, I don't know what this weird shaking thing. So yeah, that opened strong. Now, Odin, you're going to have to tell me what was match 2, because I can't actually remember what match 2 was. It wasn't the Fatal 4-Way. It wasn't a women's tag. It wasn't obviously John Cena. No, match 2. What were we doing? Oh, Drew. Oh yeah, this was good. I guess I don't think people were invested in this feud, even though they had a real reason for this rivalry. It started literally last year at WrestleMania, ended this year at WrestleMania. I thought this was good. Good spots. They hit each other. Well, it felt like they hit each other hard here. Good ending. Loved the Undertaker. Again, all about angles when you're in the stadium. Completely didn't see the tables set up on the other side. Obviously, we saw them getting set up on the screen, but you completely forgotten about that. So when Damian Priest is doing his Undertaker walk across the thing, don't see that coming. So that's a great spot. And yeah, a pretty vicious Claymore into the chair, Claymore. So it was good. It was a good street fight. It was probably good that it was a street fight. I don't think there was obviously there was not that many gimmick matches at WrestleMania. I think this was a good call for it to be a street fight. And it was a good match. Now I'm not going to remember the third match. Unless it was the Fatal 4-Way. Was it a Fatal 4-Way? Let's talk about the Fatal 4-Way and then we can go back to whatever match I've missed. I love this. Absolutely love this Fatal 4-Way. And Dom was the most over of everyone in there. And, including Penta and including Braun Breaker. I felt like 60-70% of the crowd wanted Dom to get his moment. And how he got it was brilliant. I thought it was really good match. I think it's probably the second best match of night 2 after the women's triple threat. I think it was the Fatal 4-Way. Really entertaining. The crowd got their one. I don't know if this is on the TV bit, but Dom goes out, celebrates, and then he runs back in the ring and celebrates. I don't know if that was. Again, I haven't watched it back yet, but I don't know if that was one thing, but I think that worked really well. The crowd loved Dom. He got his moment. He absolutely deserves it. I think he's like one of those absolute workers as well, isn't he? He works all shows, every show. He's been great character. Now we're intrigued to see what happens with Finn. Obviously, they haven't had a heel or face turn yet. I mean, Finn face turn was the obvious thing, but now it's got to be a Dom face turn because people are going to cheer for Dom anyway. And how does that work with Liv? All the people have started to cheer for Liv, so how does that all work with it? I have missed out on that. Oh no, Randy Orton and his mystery opponent, who happened to be Joe Henry. I thought it was great. I have to say, I've been not maybe a believer always in Joe Henry. Good moment at the Rumble. I thought maybe his momentum had passed. I mean, a few of us saw him in Camden last year, this silly wrestling event, and from that to Vegas WrestleMania. Thank you, Renan. I think it was good. It was not a long match. Again, camera angles that you're watching it. I couldn't see Randy coming with the RKO when he does his spin and turn. Maybe it was obvious on TV or I don't know, but that was good. I'm really pleased for Joe Henry. He seems like a really good guy. I don't know how good he is in the ring long term. Obviously, he can do a sort of 5 or 6 minute match with Randy Orton, so we'll see how he is. Obviously, the whole TNA WWE relationship that will help. So I mean, I think I don't know what the other options were, but they couldn't. I don't think they should have debuted anyone and made them lose to Randy Orton, because then unless they're going to debut and beat Randy Orton, which seems raw. I don't think Randy Orton's losing to someone debuting, but so I think this was a good call from whoever made the call to get Joe Henry in. So penultimate match is the women's tag. So it's Liv and Raquel, and it's supposed to be Lyra Valkyria and Bailey, but Bailey is injured. Yeah, bad. Yeah, no, that's a good point about Joe Henry. Bad for TNA, because I assume they lose. Well, I don't know when contracts are up. But I will be shocked if he doesn't. Yeah, no, that is probably true. No one is watching TNA pay-per-views after, if anyone watches them in the first place. Um, yeah, and they've lost Jordana Grace as well, haven't they? So Jordan Grace. I don't. Yeah, I do. I can't even tell you now. I mean, Joe Hendry. Apart from that, Dolph Ziggler. Not many people I can tell you that are in TNA. But yeah, it's a women's tag, and so Bailey is injured, and it turns out Bailey wasn't injured, but they just did this, and I've got to say, I think this absolutely sucks. I I think Bailey is as underrated. Obviously, she's part of the Four Horsewomen, but I think she's underrated, and they could have done this another way. Like I don't. To get, like I get it. Like Becky is Irish, Lyra is Irish. Great to have Becky Lynch back. She's one of the biggest stars in the world. But I think it absolutely stinks how they did it. Like, I don't even know because I didn't see all of SmackDown. It was like a pre-show or something. She was injured. I don't know if there is a mystery behind how she got injured, and at least they can make a storyline out of it. Because where do you go now with Bailey? She's been taking that thing, and then obviously the heel turn. It's great. It's great to see Becky Lynch back. Becky Lynch is one of the biggest women's stars ever. One of the biggest WWE stars, and it looks like she's back properly full time, which is cool. You know, what's it? 2 days between her and her husband both turning heel. I thought it was an okay match. It was an okay match. I'm very pleased that Liv and Raquel won their belts back the next night. So for a moment, for a one night thing, kind of one man handle slam, they get their moment. Becky then snaps on Lyra. I mean, it could have. Technically, they could have lost their match. Lyra could have taken the finisher and messed up or something, and then Becky could have done it at WrestleMania. Maybe because of the pop, we wouldn't have got. I don't know. Like I said, I think the thing about this match is Liv absolutely needed a WrestleMania moment. What I'm hoping is, as SummerSlam is in New Jersey, the first 2 nights, Liv gets a big match there, and she gets a big match at WrestleMania next year, and not a tag team match. But yeah, I don't know. The Bailey thing kind of is not cool with me. I don't think that's cool. I saw there was I've seen clips of the interview and Chris Van Vliet's podcast YouTube show about Bailey saying how she's maybe doesn't complain enough or whatever, and and that, whereas someone else would say they wouldn't stand for this, like a Becky or definitely a Charlotte or some of the men or whatever. But anyway, to the main event, the most talked about, controversial, disliked main event, but depending on who you speak to, that everyone's got a perspective on it, and everyone's talking about it. If you smell what the Rock obviously is damage control edition. So obviously, let's go entrances first. I thought John Cena's all blacked out entrance looked amazing in the stadium. Obviously same music, but just a very simple John Cena coming out was cool. Obviously last ever entrance at WrestleMania, that was cool. Cody's entrance again with the mask, the thing, the bikes and all of that. Again, the cool thing. Yeah, I agree. Simple theme, Cena. I think that works. It works with his no smiling. It works with his deadpan delivery and his seriousness in how he's doing it. And there's definitely stuff that's John Cena's obviously always been amazing on the mic, but there's definitely some Hollywood that has come back in the right way with John Cena in terms of his character and all of that. So the match is the match, and it's an okay match. I don't think it's as terrible as people say. It's definitely not a WrestleMania classic. John Cena doing some more wrestling moves than I've seen him do for a while. I think we have to remember John Cena's in his final year, and John Cena and Punk did pretty well at Elimination Chamber, I think, and Cena did pretty good, but you get a lot of breaks in Elimination Chamber. And I don't know if this was deliberate slow pace or what it was, but it just didn't. And Cody's obviously phenomenal. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and either they just didn't click, or it didn't. It clearly didn't. It didn't work for a lot of people. Like I said, I do not think it was awful, and I think then we obviously get Travis Scott coming in. Now, I'm going to give my perspective on this because I literally turned to my friend David, maybe during the Liv match or maybe before the Cena match started. I said how amazing it would be, because we're obsessed. Like Fiend has just played all over Vegas in the thing. I said, wouldn't it be amazing if Fiend came on and Travis Scott came out and he was the one who interfered? And obviously that happened. So maybe it was just because I was right that I enjoyed this more than others. Although having spoken to different people, some people obviously absolutely hate it because you think The Rock is coming out afterwards, and The Rock did not come out. And I'm obviously spoiled. I was at WrestleMania 40. I saw The Rock wrestle, and I saw The Rock in the last 15 minutes of the main event of night 2. So I've seen The Rock, and I wasn't as disappointed as maybe some people who had gone all the way to Vegas or gone to WrestleMania or tuned in, forget gone to WrestleMania, tuned in to watch WrestleMania. If you're in the UK, stayed until 4 a.m. and then you get Travis Scott. And I absolutely get what people are saying. If you get Travis Scott, you have to get The Rock because they're free. You can get The Rock without Travis Scott, but you can't get Travis Scott without The Rock, and I get it. So I get why people are angry. And then it kind of ended. Yeah, exactly. I get that Travis thing. However, what I would say is I was speaking to, not obviously, we speak to people about wrestling well. Not everyone admits they like wrestling, but some people do, and I'm open about it. So so people then will talk to me. And one of these guys who's a bit older than me, but he's got teenage sons, will say how much they absolutely loved it. So they love Travis Scott, and they were like, it is unreal that he came out, he got a thing. And I have to say, fair play. Like, I don't think the Crossroads is an easy move to take. I think it'll be easy to put him through a table. I think it's easy for a simple, obviously, like getting clothesline, getting, something else. I don't think, if Travis doesn't turn properly during Crossroads, he's in trouble. And he sold it well. Yeah, he absolutely did sell it well. But again, you're then expecting The Rock to come out. So I get why the disappointment. I really like the bit where Cody's debating whether he should use the belt or not use the belt. And again, I'm going to watch it probably again this weekend, so I'll have maybe a second view of it, and maybe a different opinion watching it on TV rather than that. So I thought that was good, and then obviously Cena kicks him in the nuts, which obviously is a bit of a thing. Killed KO at the Rumble, no, that is true. And also he cheated to beat Kevin Owens at Saturday Night's main event or something as well, didn't he? So yeah, I don't know, but I guess it's John Cena, the heel thing, and I guess it's not like the old days of like the early WrestleManias where like a good guy would never use a chair, apart from Hulk Hogan, of course, but a good guy would never do that. So yeah, I get why this didn't hit for people. I guess being there, you see history getting made, John Cena getting to number 17. I always quite like the crowd getting pissed off. I don't know. I was there in California, and obviously I'm a massive Roman Reigns fan, and I was very happy when he beat Cody Rhodes, but people were pissed. I think people were more pissed in the stadium, in the SoFi in California 2 years ago than they were pissed there, because let's be honest, more than half the stadium wanted John Cena to win. They probably just didn't. They wanted him to win with The Rock. So that is my take on it. Also, if you get these crazy finishes of WrestleMania 40 every year, they don't become special. So there's a bit of that in there. And obviously then you get The Rock going on Pat McAfee saying he would have done it differently. I mean, I don't know if that's helpful, Dwayne. But enjoyed the show. And then he commenting on people saying it's all at work. So it is what it is. I don't think, obviously, I think the story's got to go. I've said, and I'm not sure it's going to happen now because he's got a Scorsese film. The Rock, I know there's apparently talk that it's a shame Triple H can't ever have a match, because the match maybe we all want to see now is Triple H versus The Rock for the 50,000th time, but in a whole different level of it. So I actually agree with that. I don't think when The Rock is saying I would have done it differently, that actually helps Triple H, unless it is leading into some sort of kayfabe works down the line, Rock member of the board. Unless it's that, which it could be, because let's be honest, it could be, and they've done stuff like that before. And The Rock swerved us when he came out at, Bad Blood and did this, and then John Cena turned heel, making it seem like a mess. Yeah, it does. To be fair, it does. I think when there is criticism, it does not help. I agree. I don't disagree with you on that, Odin, in terms of that. But we are where we are. John Cena is now 17 champ. I always assumed that Randy Orton was going to be challenging for the title because Backlash was in St. Louis. I just did not expect him to deliver an RKO out of nowhere on Cena. I don't know why I did not expect that, because I should have expected that. It was probably obvious, but great promo, I thought, by Cena on the next day in terms of ruining wrestling and all of that. It'd be interesting to see Cena Orton. I'm assuming that's Backlash main event in 2025. Although I think Orton can still go. But yeah, so I get it. What I would say conversely is Travis Scott has brought even more eyes on this product obviously the WWE are in the game of making money and getting people who don't watch wrestling to watch wrestling. So there's a big part there in that. We'll see if so my prediction at the beginning of January was that Rock wasn't going to wrestle at WrestleMania and he was going to wrestle at SummerSlam because they've somehow got to sell out 60, 70,000 two nights in New York in the summer for SummerSlam. And I think in my head, I think The Rock's got to wrestle one of those nights to make that happen, because how else are you going to do it? And you've got money matches there. But obviously The Rock is the biggest, Rock versus whoever is the biggest money match. Whether people like The Rock or don't like The Rock or don't want to see him wrestle or do want to see him wrestle, that is the biggest money match. I wonder about if The Rock's not going to wrestle, we get some kind of John Cena and Travis Scott versus someone and someone, Cody and Roman, something like that. But then you've got the Seth situation, Bad Bunny, Cody and Bad Bunny. I want to see a Canadian Destroyer on Travis Scott. I think this will be the most viral clip in the history of wrestling. It will be the most viral clip in the history of wrestling if we get a Canadian Destroyer from. I mean, Bad Bunny was amazing, honestly, at WrestleMania 37, and obviously at Backlash with Damian Priest. I know Damian Priest helped him a lot, but there's talk about Bad Bunny, or maybe I just made that talk up. The Bad Bunny coming back into it or doing something. So Maybe Bad Bunny will appear, but I don't think you can put two celebrities in that, no matter how good he is. But so maybe you get that. Maybe you get The Rock. Maybe The Rock doesn't come back. But what I would say is, and I will shout out, I never thought when I watched The Rock in the Nation of Domination, and when he was amazing, like when he was on these rides, that you would get this man starring in a Martin Scorsese film. So fair play. If he's not going to wrestle because he's not going to wrestle because he's in this Scorsese film, then Moana, the live action thing, I'm less excited about, but the Scorsese thing, fair enough. So I don't know if we will see now The Rock wrestle, and then how does the schedule go on? Does he make WrestleMania 42? Is he getting on? Was that his last match last year? Are we ever going to get The Rock versus Roman? Probably not. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but it'll be interesting to see. So I don't know anything about SmackDown, although I know Cena is advertised for SmackDown. So. And I'm assuming Cody is, although they might give Cody a few weeks off, and I don't think that will do him any harm. Obviously Friday night on SmackDown, I've seen the clip. This was a great promo from Cena and Cody, but it was the first two times that Cody's been booed. He's been this amazing old school baby face, and it's the first time he's really been booed. That's partly because it's Cena, and there's a load of people who go to WrestleMania who've watched wrestling for years, loved Cena, want to see Cena in a thing. I don't know about the summer, but I don't think it'll be a bad thing. I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to give Cody. I don't think Cody needs to be. It's obviously Orton's going to challenge Cena now, so that's obvious. I don't know when Roman's going to be on TV again, but there's obviously the storyline with Punk, Roman, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins on the other big storyline. Jay is now the thing. Cody's not going to challenge Jay. I think you can give him time, give him a break. If you completely agree, give him some time off. He is a absolute superstar. He's done all the rounds. He's signed all the autographs. He's done everything pretty much since he's come back to WWE at 38, so for 3 years, and apart from any of the injury as well. So yeah, I think give him time off. Give the audience a chance to miss him. That's always a good rule in wrestling. And I think we're done. 45 minutes of talking. Hopefully people will watch this afterwards. But if not already, you have entertained me with your comments. And this is in the books now. This will be saved forever in YouTube in my review of WrestleMania. And then we will be done. So please, if you are still watching, or if you're watching this, check out some of our videos from WrestleMania. We have me with my full circle moment with Montez Ford. Exactly, give it a like and a subscribe. That's what I'm supposed to say, a like and a subscribe. Full circle moment with Montez Ford is on YouTube. We have the best video I think about is Jay and Jimmy celebrating after literally hours of drinking after he won the title at Live nightclub, and also the Thursday night video of Ray, the deadbeat dad, doing shot tequila with Charlotte Flair and then being injured. So, make of that what you will, deadbeat dad. Right, thank you for watching. I will leave you to your weekends and enjoy SmackDown tonight.